When news just in, security loophole found in Nagrota army base. Attack bracks of campus entry gate was unmanned and unguarded. Highly placed sources say that there was no sentry at the gate, which leads to the campus housing and barracks and mess. These were no traces. There were no traces of either blood or grenade splinters at the gate towards National Highway 1, indicating there was no resistance of heavily armed terrorists at the entrance. This is a major lapse of security that's been pointed out. My colleague Atar Khan getting us this exclusive. So Atar, it was easy for these terrorists dressed in Jammu and Kashmir police uniforms to walk inside and gain entry into a critical part of the army unit.
Well, that's right. Highly placed sources have told us we are in the know of some details now as to how, what happened post the terrorist attack. The terrorists were totally prepared. They had the coordinates. They knew the vulnerability of the spot. Apparently, they had carried out a reconnaissance of this area much ahead of the attack, and that is why they were prepared. And the army was taken unawares. There was element of surprise in the terrorist raid, and our sources are telling us at the entry gate to the campus where the barracks are there, there's this army officers mess, and the kitchen, the entry gate was totally unguarded. There was no sentry to put up a resistance to the terrorist attack, and they took advantage of that and stormed inside the campus, firing indiscriminately. Luckily, the army officers' family had put up a brave front. It was a heroic deed on their part to barricade their houses. There were little infants inside, so that effort went a long way to evade an attack which could have had far-reaching ramifications. We know that there was a hostage-like situation, but then we also know that the army and the paramilitary forces, they used their vehicles which were bulletproof, and they went towards the mess where one major and another lady major along with a child were present. They were evacuated in that bulletproof vehicle and they were carried outside the campus. So this was the sort of exercise which was carried out, but clearly there are lapses, there are loopholes in the security arrangement of this base which needs to be strengthened, which needs to be improved. The army is on high alert. There have been continuous ceasefire violation by Pakistan. All the more reasons that the security needs to be beefed up.
Absolutely, but there have been intel inputs, specifically after the Uri attack, where there were efforts underway to secure all the key army units and bases, and this is where this seems to be a major security lapse. Of course, the terrorists would have done their recce and found out that this is an easier route for them to enter the critical part of the army unit.
Well, that's right. That is a shortcoming, major loophole in the security of the entire army base, one of the largest army base and quite significant in this region. There is a background to it. There's a dispute as to why a highway runs through the cantonment, which is flanked on either sides. So that needs to be resolved. Our concerted action has to be taken as to what sort of security arrangements should be in place to make it foolproof.
All right, Atar, thanks for joining us with that exclusive news break. Also talking about what is the next step now that the security loophole has been established. Will the accountability will also be fixed? It's a major security lapse for a key